Good morning.
Hello, everyone. How you feeling, Alexandra?
I'm great. The temperature's finally dropped. It's no longer oppressively hot, which I know like isn't oppressively hot for you, but like it at one point last week it was like 42 degrees and we spent lots of the winter in like the -30 world, and so 42 degrees just feels miserable.
All right,
So
wait a minute. Echo, what is 42 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit?
42 degrees Celsius equals 42 degrees Celsius equals 107.6 Fahrenheit.
Oh my, that's hot.
that is hot.
One
I didn't
extreme to
realize
the
it was that hot. I just knew it was
107 degrees. Yeah.
I just knew it was hot. It had
I
been
was
very hot.
last night when I said that I was working to, trying to get our little post up.
Mm-hmm.
We had brownouts for over an hour, like constantly. Every 5 minutes, our power was going out. And it was just like trying to get, and so Canva's like, you're offline. Then Canva's like, you're online. Canva's like, you're offline. I'm like, this really, I mean, and it hasn't been that hot here, but for whatever reason, we were having issues. On the whole island. On the whole
my
island,
internet has been awful. But only in the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
The evenings, my internet is horrific. Starting about like 5:30, 6 o'clock, the internet will just like, it'll be up, it'll go down, it'll be up, it'll go down. And Disney Plus and Netflix will go, you're online, you're offline, you're online, you're offline.
It's just like, especially when you're trying to get stuff done. I've been working on a few different things to streamline my life easier. And we can talk about that later, because I think it's something interesting and neat too. So, there's only so much, like I can put in the thing. What are we going to come up with to talk about? And since being back from the Dutch Pen Show, I've had a few medical things, which are having autoimmune, when you're doing something you love.
Yeah.
So the dopamine, the endorphins or whatever, like, and high things, and like, you just go. And then I come home and I'm like, I can't move. It's like, I'm like dead. Like, my husband's like, you were like walking like 15,000 to 20,000 steps a day. You come home and you can't do it. I'm lucky if I can get like 500 steps in. I was like dead.
Yeah.
And I was having a little flare up.
The post-Pen Show crash is real. Like I will easily do 10,000 steps a day at a Pen Show. And at home, I will wipe out if I do more than 6,000. Like my leg will be like, I'm not being a leg anymore. You're going to hit the ground, and I will hit the ground. But at a Pen Show, we're all good.
Yeah, so you're just so happy.
Adrenaline is a brilliant thing.
Can I live my life at a Pen Show? I'm telling you, right now and then I had a horrible fall. I was in where I lived is a restaurant, so I went into the restaurant and I went to get up to go to the ladies' room, and there's uneven flooring. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I took a trip and I'm stumbling, trying to, like, never break your fall, just fall.
Just fall.
Because what happened was I hit a side of a table right here on my ribs, front and back. Mm-hmm. And then I turned and fell on my left butt cheek. So sitting and whatever, it's been 2 weeks now, and sneezing and coughing is still hurts, right? Yeah. And it's not a good thing to. And I've been like, the bruises on me are like, and they got it all on videotape. Of course, it's all on video,
Well, that's the whole reason I ditched all but one of my weekly uploads, because I think it was 6 falls in 7 weeks in the spring, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, it's like, and they ask me every time I go to the rheumatologist, have you had any fall? Because it's a big concern. Like now, and now I'm measuring my ankles, because for whatever reason, my ankles decided to swell up. So I'm like, I've never had, it's like, it's my medication's not working. It's all, anyway, let's get to pens. Let's just get to pens. Okay. Because we're going to talk about pens.
Yeah.
So
The
before I
spring
go,
summer for both of us has been sort of a nightmare. Hence,
yeah,
we missed a
pens.
month
Yeah,
and a half.
we did. Yes, it's been a while. And I have so many YouTube videos that I want to do for myself. I got like a list of topics and nothing. So I tell people, please be patient with me. I have some, like fun stuff. But anyway, we'll talk a lot about that. So have you gotten anything new in the pen world for you?
Since we last, I don't think anything new that I haven't already shown off. Like the last new fountain pen I got was actually, it's not this, it's the Navilar Pearl, which is actually, it's in my folio. I took it, I was working in the car and I took the Navilar Pearl with me, which is the New Horizon, but I've really been enjoying the Urushi.
That's
Rio.
a pretty color.
Yeah,
that's
it's
such a pretty
lilac. It looks a lot more purple not being held up. It looks much more gray by itself, but with other pens it looks much more purple. I love the nibs on these. I thought my first one was maybe a fluke because they've said they're not doing anything different with the nibs on these versus their normal nibs. I've now got 2 of these pens in 2 different sizes and the nibs have both been exceptional. And then the other new, which isn't actually a new, I've owned it since it came out. Whenever Monteverde released the Dakota series, they sent me several, including a matte black one, which I never did anything with. And recently I needed a new waterproof pen because I wanted to ink up the Octopus Fluids document purple, their certified document. And I put it in this and it's been running great. I don't like to run waterproof inks in expensive pens, but I do like to run them in pens that are comfortable. And I really like how these pens feel in my hand. So I've been really enjoying this.
That's really good. Peter uses the, if Peter's listening, because I know he's on here somewhere.
He is on here.
Oh, yeah. But he's working too at the same time. So anyway, but he uses, is it Diamine's waterproof? I can't remember.
Yeah, so I haven't tried the Diamine yet.
And he uses them in pens and they clean out lovely. So,
I am a big fan of the Sailor waterproof inks, but the Octopus, they have 2 lines. They have the right draw, and then they've got a certified document line. And I forget, I think it was Wonder Pens that I found the certified document line at in like maybe 2024. And I bought, actually Mom got them because she was running them in her Cocono for work notes. And they're great. They are probably my favorite waterproof inks next to the Sailor Black waterproof. They're fairly easy to clean out of pens. The colors are great. They're not super easy to get, but if you can find them, they're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. Peter says that the Diamine Forever Indigo, he loves that one.
I will have to
and it cleans out of the pen lovely because I know I clean it.
Yeah. I have not actually tried any of the new Diamine Forever inks. I will say I've been fairly good. The only inks I've added to my collection since Philly are the ones Ferris Wheel Press sends to me monthly. I really haven't added that many inks. I've got so many inks and I'm just trying to work through some of the stuff I have.
The Mondo says R&K, Roy and Klinker just came out with light blue. Cool. I mean, it's like a lot of, I've been bad with inks. Bad by meaning we have so many. I came home from the Dutch Pen Show with 30 bottles. Okay.
I sort of, so that was me, Chicago 2025. I easily came home from that show with 30 bottles of ink, and 2024.
I I brought with me, I always with bubble wrap envelopes
Mhm.
and Ziploc bags.
Yep.
And I also was allowed to check in 2 bags. Okay. Going, I checked in 1 bag, and I brought a duffel bag that was folded in my big bag. The duffel bag contained all the dirty laundry because it's a duffel bag and I'm not putting inks in that. And then
Yep.
I really carefully, in one section of my suitcase, I wrapped I had no ink problems except for 1 bottle, and it just leaked a little bit, but not in the box, not anywhere. But I bubble wrapped, I ziplocked, and I put them in a zippered, like clothes pouch, the
Mhm.
and nothing. And I thank God I made the pound limit on that bag.
If I'm flying with inks, I take a box of Ziplocs with me.
Hmm.
And everything goes into an individual Ziploc bag, because then if an ink leaks, it's only leaked in 1 Ziploc.
Hmm.
If we're driving, I pack a tote bin, and everything gets packed into the tote bin, and when I get home, the tote bin just moves into my office, and I unpack from the tote bin. It is the best system. I did it in 2024 for the Atlas Sidewalk sale, and I've done it for every show we've driven to since then, because then you are just packing and unpacking into 1 bin. As you're getting stuff at a pen show, it's going into a bin, and then you are taking that bin, putting it in a vehicle, and then that bin is going straight into your office.
Right. And it's a perfect situation. We're going, when we go to Orlando, we're actually having 2 tables. We're selling some overstock that we have, and a few previously loved pens that now, since we've been collecting so long, did not fit into our collection, right? And they would be wonderful in other people's home, like previously loved, maybe
Yeah.
inked once or maybe not inked at all,
I have some of those sitting on my desk right now.
So I'm happy, and so everything's going in tote bins for the car because we're driving, so it works out pretty cool. In DC, Peter's bringing it looks like a briefcase, the ones from the Giologio from luxury brands. It's
The
like it holds
96
98
pen?
pens. Mhm.
Yeah.
And a friend of ours said, "Oh, come sit at my table, Peter. You can sell some of your pens if you want to try it at TC." So we're just taking that one briefcase. He's putting some pens in there, and he'll go sit at the table and with Marty and have a good time, and show us how a good salesman he is. But yeah, so and that briefcase will just fit in an overhead compartment, so we don't have in one of our carriers, and we don't have to worry about the pens. But what I do in our large suitcase that gets checked, I put in flat priority mailboxes. When I travel in the US now, I've learned to pre-print my sticker. I have bubble wrap and I have packing tape with me. So if I buy anything that's really bulky, I pack everything into a priority mailbox, one of the large ones. So I think I might be bringing 2 because I know a few things that I want. And then the hotel will ship them out to me. Easy peasy.
You have this pen show thing down to a science, Claire.
Yeah, I tell you. I haven't been able to talk about the Dutch Pen Show. Even like one of the things I wanted to do, and the Dutch Pen Show is over like a month old now, like since I've been back, 6 weeks, 5, 6 weeks, and something like that. And I have to tell you, it was the best run pen show I've been to. Yost does a phenomenal job. I thought it was totally amazing, and the people were like so nice. I was walking around, and all of a sudden I hear, "Oh my God, there's a celebrity here!" And I'm like, "Can you believe Coco came?" I'm like, it really warmed my heart. I just couldn't I'm like, "Oh please," I'm so. And some people had gifts for me. they were just so sweet. I just loved it. I was beaming the whole time. And then I got to meet Doug and his wife Wynn in person, other than just chatting FaceTime all the time. And we just hung out the whole weekend there together. And then the people that I've been seeing posting stuff on Instagram, I went to their tables because I wanted to try their inks. And then I hear, oh, Claire, Coco, you got to come over here and try this. And I'm like, uh, and then I did a postcard workshop, making your own postcards. And then I did, of course, Sky Bambi, who I've done before. And I love listening to Tarsh and how she goes about in her journaling, creative journaling, and trusting the process. It was just totally wonderful. So I was helping a friend of mine in filming, like taking some pictures of his workshop that he was doing, Lenny Iger. He was doing nib tuning. And the next person was coming in to straighten out the room for her workshop. And the workshop was called Paper Tasting, a little play on words. And she basically had a whole bunch of different papers, whether it be Cosmo Airlight, Tomoe River, Airful, all these other brands. I have a book like this thick that has a few sheets in that she did. And she's like, oh, you're Claire Coco. I said, yes. And she was telling me about her workshop. And I said, oh my God, I have a free hour. I said, I'd love to sign up for your workshop. And she's like, no, I want you to come as my guest. And I thought that was this, I was like, really? And she had enough, so I got all the supplies that she was handing out to the class and everything. And her name is Lynn, and it was just amazing. I got I got to try some different papers and what I liked and what I didn't like. And then she had your Clairefontaine and your Rhodia, your basic workhorse papers and all that. So it was kind of neat. I still haven't had time to really go through the book, but it's amazing.
I think workshops like that are amazing. Like there's one that I think it's Chicago puts on, like it's a vintage tasting workshop where you get to try a whole bunch of vintage pens. And I think workshops like that are so useful because it's hard to just go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff. It's easy to get really overwhelmed by the number of options we have. And I know, especially for me, like I found a single paper that I really loved. And I've pretty much stuck with that paper. I've dabbled in a couple others. I've tried friends' other papers. But really, I found a single paper pretty early on that I was obsessed with. And I've never moved away from it.
Yeah, I came home and I just trying to figure out what's the best way to analog. I don't want to do it on a spreadsheet. I want to be able to write with my pens more. And this is getting me to write with my pens more that I have inked. Currently, I have 29 pens inked, which is a lot, but a few they're inked for a reason. And once I do the video, probably because they're almost getting the tail end of, I can go on to some others. And I'm doing this pen log. And in the pen log, and it's interesting. I'll show it on I have everything in alphabetical order, and I made up the sheet. And in the sheet, it will have, when I acquired the pen, who I acquired it from, and then I go, basically, it's information about the pen, and then the brand, the ink name, and when I inked the pen. And then I can keep like a log like this. So it kind of looks like that. And then in the corner, I put a picture of the pen.
Okay.
So I use my Lean sticker printer, which is, I just love it. And it will take the background out, so whatever. And then this is like, I really like this, but what I was getting back as we were talking about papers, I tried this log, how I liked it on Tomoe River, 68 GSM paper, Airful paper, and Cosmo Airlight. I didn't like it on Cosmo. Tomoe River won it out for me. It gets more whiter. The Aerofol is nice too, but it's not as white. And I like doing it on white paper. But and so I'm sticking right now with the Tomoe River 68. And it seems to be working fine. So that's pretty cool. So that was like a project that I just and you get obsessed of like, I sit at the computer, right? And I'm like trying to figure out the layout and all this stuff. And Peter's like, "You still at it?" I'm like, "Yeah." I couldn't move. I couldn't really walk. So I had like the computer on a desktop there and yeah.
And there's something about the formatting of a project like that. Like I will obsess over the formatting and the system, especially when I know it's going to be a big project like that. Like I want it to be as perfect as possible before I start it. I don't want to be in it and be deep into it before I realize that I hate the thing. Like I'm a person that needs to have all the details as figured out as possible before I start it.
Yeah, I did a couple of sheets and I'm not redoing those. They're fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I went in and tweaked positioning and stuff a little bit more. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get that obsessive.
That's where you and I are very different people, because I'm currently we've slowly been putting in a backyard orchard. Many people know this. Every time we canceled a pen show this year, I went out and I purchased more fruit trees. Because fruit trees are cheaper than fountain pens, sort of. And so every time we'd cancel going to a pen show, I would go out and buy between 3 and 5 fruit trees for the backyard. And so now I'm at the point, like, I need to be able to track what's going on with fruit trees. And so I've had to tweak how I'm, like, planning things out. And I did a single page one way, I did a single page another way, I did a single page a third way, and I did a single page a fourth way. And then I left them on my desk for, like, 4 or 5 days, and I made arrows, I moved stuff around, and then I redid them all to match the one version I liked. Because I cannot handle them being different from each other. All of them have to be the same.
Yeah, well, basically they're the same. And I'm not saying I won't go back and redo those other ones either, because I know me. But it was like, I know me, but Peter's like, no, keep it because it shows your progression of how you did. From a pencil drawing on a piece of paper to, trying to draw that out to whatever. And I'm like, yeah, David's right though. At least, yeah, they're cheaper than fountain pens and they will keep coming back and giving you fruit.
That is true.
The fruits of your labor.
Spending $56 per tree on multiple trees is not nearly as bad as what I've spent on fountain pens.
Yeah.
The sheer quantity of trees I put in this year is and Mom put in, like, we went from having, I think we started the year with 5 or 6. And now we're approaching 20 rapidly. Like at one point yesterday you were texting me and I didn't respond for 2.5 hours, and when I texted you back it was pictures of fruit trees that I'd been pruning for hours.
Yeah.
Because that is my life.
Hey, I was just saw Karen said that one of her baby apple trees was struck by lightning last year and it broke completely, and now it's coming back.
Apple trees,
Mother Nation.
Baby fruit trees are very resilient. And sometimes annoyingly resilient. We have one tree that likes to send up branches straight from its base. And I spend a fair amount of time just pruning branches going straight up from the base of this tree. And I wish it wouldn't do that, but apparently
Mother Nature takes its
wants to do with its life.
Yeah.
And
so I want to get back. We'll get back to let's see. By 30 bottles of ink, David and Kathy. All right. So I like. Also, I want to try different ink brands. And, color's color, and a lot of the colors are the same. How many versions of blue can you have? Well, probably whatever. So, one of the inks, because you can't get them here in the States yet. And I've gotten I purchased something at Dino Rights because Dino Rights had it. Ackerman has it. And then this company was at the pen show. Such lovely people. It's called Shanghai Stationery, and they're actually out of Germany.
I've heard of them.
Yep, they're actually out of Germany. They're a nice couple. They met in Shanghai. That's why they call it Shanghai Stationery. And they come in bottles. Their boxes are like this. It's sort of like an origami thing where you kind of do all that. The reason why I have the elastic band around this one is because it's a duplicate. I had a little leakage problem on something, so she sent me another bottle. Anyway, but the bottles are very cute.
Oh,
I like them. They're very cute. They're very heavy. So and so the regular inks are in these 50 ml bottles. The shimmer inks are in a 30 ml. So, and you know what? For shimmer ink, they don't overly shimmer them. There's just, you might see, I have some of their inks in a pen right now, and you may see just a little sparkle. They're not like in your face, and they stay on the page pretty well. But they're really nice pigment. I love their colors. They're great. And then I was walking by another table, and I saw these boxes. I like packaging too, right? And this is the one that really, I mean, come on.
There's a Venn diagram of like things pen people like, and yeah.
I mean, it's the collection is bow tie. The bow tie collection.
So Peter Rabbit.
Yeah, and then you get this one, and you get the llama. And I only got 3 out of their 6 bottles, and this is the squirrel. And the reason why it's and I'll butcher the name, Lanzadell Fine Writing.
Okay.
And the owner is also a nibmeister, and when he's doing nibs, he's sitting there with the nibs, he's wearing his bow tie. It's so cool. Such nice people. And I want to get the other 3 bottles in the collection so I can I'm not a completionist really, but I do like the colors. So, whatever. But yeah, they were just so nice. The other thing, what he does, you and I have worked pen shows, yes, and stuff. And what was really nice about this one, there were different rooms. It was the biggest so far for them. It was well attended. They have vendors in a few different rooms. Well, in those couple of different rooms, there's also an area for vendors only where they stock it up with waters and energy bars and all that other stuff.
I have told Yost that I think he puts on one of the best. I haven't even been, but I've talked to friends who have vended the show, and the TLC that he gives vendors, in the fact that there is a space where vendors don't really have to leave the show floor to go very far for food, for water. Like there's
how about a masseuse to rub your shoulders? Okay. Yeah, I was like, I didn't have time.
Like there are very few things that feel worse than it being 6 o'clock on a pen show day and realizing that the last thing you ate was continental breakfast. Because it's been busy all day.
Yeah. So I didn't even stop for lunch. I would go into because I had a vendor's pass. I went into the vendor's room, and I would have like an energy bar, and they had some fruit. They had some light stuff, but at least it gave you something. And that's a protein bar. That's all I needed. And then we'd go down. And the food at the hotel, we never left the hotel. The food at the hotel was outstanding. It was just so good. And they had nice meat. It was just I really loved it. I hope I get to go back next year. I really do, because I had such a good time. And I went to, I got to tour. I spent 3 days in Amsterdam before I went to the host hotel where the show was in Utrecht. And it was great. Lenny met me because he was coming from London because he had to go to a wedding. And so my friend Lenny Iger and we met in Amsterdam, and we did, we took the boat tour, the canal tours, and then we went off and we went to an estate because he wanted to see nature. And I'm like, oh God, I don't, but you know what? It was really good, except for the fact we walked 2 miles and it decided while you're on this path of this old estate, which was absolutely gorgeous, it started to pouring rain. And now you're in the middle of this walk following the path and you just have nothing to do. But thank God I had my raincoat and a hood. And you have nothing to do but just put your head down and keep walking. And that's what I did. And it was fun. And then it would lay as a photographer. And I wasn't bringing big girl camera with me when I travel anymore. My iPhone is just fine for my memories. But when it stopped raining and you look at all the green, and it was just so beautiful and so lush. I mean, I did have a good time, even though I bitched. But I said, we got to get back to Amsterdam because I had an appointment at Ackerman's to go to visit them because I chat with them all the time, and I was there 2 years ago. So I said, I want to go to Ackerman's, even though they're going to be PW Ackerman, not Ackerman De Hague. I wanted to go to the store again and just say hi and everything. So it was fun. Teal, so yeah, with a huge rain. Yep. So it is true. I really do. I mean, I just had such a wonderful time. It can't, if you get to go, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful trip. And Amsterdam was great. I mean, I was very careful. Pedestrians are like low-class citizens because you got cars and bicyclists, and the bicyclists come first. You had to be careful. I almost got hit by a bike. I was very cautious. I had to pull Lenny back at one point because he started to walk, and but that was really kind of cool. So I like again, and wait a minute. I was very restrained on buying pens. Extremely restrained. I only bought 3.
You only bought
pre-ordered. 3 pens. Yeah.
Wow.
I got the Dutch Pen Show Scribo Love Letters.
Okay.
And
it's a beautiful pen.
It is a beautiful pen, and I got it with the fine flex nib, and it writes beautifully. And then I went modern.
You went modern.
I went modern. Macar tools. It's all titanium with an octopus imprinted on there, and it's very weighted. And I kind of really I kept looking at this thing, and it's engineered, and what he does to it is just amazing, right? And this is a pen rest thing, like whatever.
Not a pen I would have thought you would add to your collection.
I know, and it's oh wait, I got to show you more. See, in the grip is grippy, which I like. It's very nice. This is how he puts his attention to detail. I mean, there's diamond cuts around here, but wait till you see the converter. Even on the converter, he has the pattern and the converter's done in this material. It is just unbelievable. I just really, and he does the pocket pens. He's going to be at the DC show, and I might get a pocket one too. It is weighty. It's weighty in the back, but it's pretty good. It's very good. It's very comfortable. Roll stop. That's what I meant, not pen rest. Roll stop. Just couldn't think about it, but I really did, and his attention to detail on this is amazing. His pens flew. Whatever he makes, it was at the show. I got to the table just in time. There was another one that I wanted, and someone had previously, just bought it, And then I kept going back and going back, and I'm like, you know what? I keep thinking about it, and I love writing with it. It's got Waterman's tender purple in it for ink,
All right.
and it writes beautifully. And then my last one.
Is it a custom? Is it a custom nib, a Yovo, a Bach?
It's a Bach. It's a Bach nib, and Bach steel nib. I wanted the titanium. It's a titanium nib, and he ran out. So I may switch out the nib and get a different nib in there. But you know what? It writes beautifully. So I'm just gonna just leave it alone.
You could always swap it at DC.
Right. So, and then I've been looking at, this is a Casado bulk filler. So very different, modern.
That's pretty.
It's very pretty. And I got, CY did his grind on it. That's like not a togi, but don't ask me what it is right now because I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But the grind on it, he did the grind, 18 karat gold nib. And in here I have Shanghai Inks Yamdruk in here. That's the name of the ink, and it's beautiful. And as you can see, I've been writing with it, but it's going to take a long time. I shouldn't have filled it so much.
That's how I feel about this pen. Like, I filled this once 7 months ago. I write with it almost every day, and it's still got ink in it.
Yeah. I will not put an ink back into a bottle, because what happens is some people are like, oh, it's like, no, because what happens is once you ink a pen, the ink will change color. It will get, actually it evaporates a little bit. So when it evaporates, the color gets a little darker, richer in color, basically. Because sometimes if you ever wonder, that's not the ink color I put in this pen. Why has it changed? And it's because I realized I haven't written with it for a little while, and it might have evaporated a little bit. And then once I stop writing, the actual color that's up wherever, it just comes out. But it's pretty cool. So yes, I was very restrained. Very restrained. For me. I saw some other pens I liked, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to be in DC. I'm going to be in San Francisco.
That's the thing. Like, there are periods of time in the pen world that there's huge gaps between the big shows. But between the Dutch Pen Show, DC, and SF, it isn't a big gap.
No.
So unless you're shopping with people that are only going to be at the Dutch Pen Show, or buying something like the Scribo, which is only available at the Dutch Pen Show, it's likely that you're going to see people again at least once over the course of the summer.
Right. Exactly. For Macabre Tools, he is going to be at the DC show too. And I remember him last year at the DC show. He sold out right away. And I'm like, I posted something the other day on my Instagram. It was a saying my grandmother used to say, buy me when you see me so you have me when you need me. Do I really need another fountain pen? No, but I liked it. And I know with his stuff, he only has so many with him. Yeah. So I bought it. Andre, this other vendor, he's going to be in DC, and there was a Rushi pen that he had there that I really, really liked. And I'm like, it's like, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I said, if you have it in DC, I might buy it. But what I loved about that pen, the attention to detail, it had a peacock on it, like in a Rushi. And when you uncap, the peacock goes up on the cap, the head of the peacock. When you uncap it, the section has the head of the peacock. So the pen's not headless when you're writing. So that's what I'm talking about with attention to detail.
I'm a big fan of the phrase, if it's still here on Sunday.
Yep.
Because sometimes I'll see things on Thursday or Friday, like early Friday morning of pen show, and it'll be a good portion of my budget. And it's like, if I still have the money and it's here on Sunday, because yes, I want it, but it's also one of those decisions that I could just make really impulsively and later regret. So we're gonna let fate decide.
Well, that goes up with my pen show do and don'ts, because
Oh yeah.
Karen was not restrained yesterday.
Ooh.
That's going to be a nice vanishing point.
Oh, I love that vanishing point. That vanishing point is on my, if I decide to add another vanishing point,
Yeah.
I sort of feel like by getting the Urushi one, I sort of got like the highest level vanishing point you could get, and I did that without getting a normal vanishing point. I just jumped straight to an Urushi one with gold spot credit and writing for them. And so now it's like any vanishing point I buy is sort of like going down in vanishing points, but I do really like that one.
Yeah, no, I really do too. So supposedly we have it on order with Jimmy.
Oh,
So yeah. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pen. I used to fight vanishing points. I started, Peter would get them and I'm like, oh, I don't like the way the clip is, whatever. Now I have my own collection of vanishing points. And because Peter and Sue Beck were like, trust us, just try it. Really, just try it. It doesn't get in your way.
They are honestly one of my favorite pens. It is my purple one, which is the Decimo. I love that I can just like clip that into a pocket and go. My Urushi one I baby. There are only a couple pens I baby and like don't get tossed into purses.
Right.
My Visconti Homo Sapien is one of those pens, and the Urushi Vanishing Point is the other. And then there's a couple like vintage celluloid pens that are family pens. Those like don't just get tossed into bags. Everything else is sort of like a free for all in my life. But that Vanishing Point is a pen that has left my office. My Homo Sapien has not. But it does not leave my office unless it is in its own case.
Right. No, I get it. I totally get it, because I did take one of my Tasha Arushi pens with me to the Dutch pen show because I was doing some. Tasha could not go, and I had some pens that were left at like consignment with Yost, and if they had, I would go, and if they had questions about the pen or anything, they'd text me and I'd come back. Yost is like, no, Claire, I really want you to enjoy the show. We can handle it, but if we have questions, we'll text you, come back to the booth. So I could help out that way and stuff like that, which is perfectly fine. And but I brought it with me because at least it was one Tasha pen that was inked, and if someone wanted to try it, because I knew that. So I did bring that with me. But normally sometimes if I'm going out, no, I'm, like just out and about, I won't take those, pens with me. I'll take an Aspine or a Mahjong and throw it in my purse, and they're really good pens. There's nothing wrong with them.
I'm quite happy. Like, there's very few pens I baby because they're pens, they're tools, and I want to use them. And also, why do I own them if I'm not going to use them?
Right.
Like even the couple that don't leave my office, I still use. But I've really culled sort of those lower end, less expensive pens from my collection because one, I just wasn't using them. And so everything I've kept now is things that are pens I actually use. But some of them aren't, a couple $100, but most of them are now in like the above $75, $90 range Canadian, and because I'm just not using the lower end of the spectrum anymore.
Yeah. No. I totally get it. Like even like a lot of times I'll take, because people want to see some, like a pen meetup, those will come out with me because people, oh, do you mind bringing it? I'm like, no, I don't care. They're synced. I'll bring it. Why is your cabinet so bare?
Mine?
Don't you usually have inks in there?
Oh, this is my studio palette.
Oh, okay.
It's on my desk.
Oh, okay. You're in different areas. You got 2 desks.
There's the ink desk. There's the ink desk.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Have you not noticed this, Claire?
Oh, well, the ink dust I've noticed before, but I don't remember.
No,
I was just
so
you usually have inks behind you. That's why.
I haven't had inks behind me for like 6 months.
I probably just didn't notice it because we were talking about inks.
I
put up what Peter wrote.
I bought a cabinet.
Uh-huh.
So the long story is I needed more storage in my office, and I went to a secondhand shop, and I was looking at this. Mom and I were checking out, and I saw this cabinet, and I went, "Oh, it's got the same drawer pulls as the desk in my office already. Great." Because what I've wanted was something that matched what was in my office already. Because that's who I was. I wanted it to match what was already here. Because also this office is wood paneled and I needed everything to match for my brain. And I found this one, which is lovely. And I thought, it's the smaller version of what I already had. The pulls matched. It's a little more beaten up. But it's the smaller version of the desk I already have. It's not the smaller version of the desk I already have. It's the exact desk I already have with a different top on top, which meant it was absolute hell to get down to the basement because it's solid wood. And I got it. It was my Christmas present, actually, from Mom.
Cool. Very cool. Very, very
it's
cool.
Been here for a couple months because I wanted I had ink storage over there, and then I needed like cookbooks and reference books, and then watercolors and pencil crayons are up top on the top shelf, and
very cool.
Everything sort of slots in. But normally the studio palette lives here, but Kari was here 3 weeks ago for a visit. And she had a whole bunch of pigment questions. She's putting together a new watercolor palette based on signal pigment colors. And so the studio palette came out and I haven't put it away because I've been painting with it. So it's right now.
That's kind of good. That's kind of great.
It is. It's taking up the entirety of my desk right now. But
we have a couple of questions, by the way.
We do have a couple of questions.
Let's see. David wants to know what nib you would suggest, and I medium.
See, I hate
or fine. Medium. You could do fine, but I like fine mediums if you can get a fine medium. But
I like the Decimo fine and I like the Decimo broad. I cannot stand the Decimo medium nib.
I don't use a Decimo. And isn't it the nib for a Decimo is the same as the regular?
It's the same as the regular one. I cannot stand the medium nibs.
Yeah. I like the fine. I prefer the fine medium if you can get it, but that's only like Japanese exclusive fine mediums. Here you can get a fine or a medium, but
yes, I would love to get my hands on one of the fine mediums, but I've never managed to.
Yeah, it really depends on what you like to write with. Look, so if you are a broad person or a stub person, then get those. You can always have it ground too. If you get a broad and you don't like it, you can always have like a nibmeister do like I had Kirk did a mini stub for me on one of the pens.
I have I have 2 mediums. One of them is now an architect and one of them is stub-ish. But the only one that I've kept unground is my broad. I find the normal mediums just write a little bit too dry.
Yeah, I've used mine. Mine are pretty good. I use mine in even when I do the Zentangle and stuff like that. They work. They work lovely. Peter wanted to know which Visconti Homo sapiens you have, and that is the Iris.
Iris Garden.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
I got it last year, courtesy of
I know
Gold
because
Spot.
I muled it
And
for
you being my pen dealer.
I was the
Or
mule.
pen mule. You were my
Pen
mule. To DC.
Oh my God, I was so nervous coming back through customs because
No. From I was like, you didn't go through customs to bring me this in DC.
No. When I was in Amsterdam,
Amsterdam,
because I had to. Okay, so this is how I got the pens for Tasha. Susan met Matthew Chen and Nina, and they took the pens to give to me. I get and this is the muling of pens, okay? So
Claire,
they gave me the pens.
Here, 1 second. Do you actually want to be telling the story publicly?
I'm just kidding around, so that's fine. But no, I was like not sure about we got the pens in, and then I had to bring them home, and now I'm like a nervous wreck taking all these not a few pens. There weren't a lot of pens. There was only like one pen roll, but still they're not my pens. I was just nervous. They were not my pens. I was just nervous about them. But going through, it was fine because I have global entry.
Yep.
And then it was just like, okay, you're just fine. Plus all my 30 bottles of ink. I was like, if I have, oh my, I got all these inks and stuff like that, but no, I'm fine. But this was a pen show. Let's see. A full range of nibs from extra fine to stubs are good. Oh, Sue got a double stacked.
Oh, like stock?
No, someone had done it. A double stacked vanishing point nib.
Wow. And I know that Gold Spot sells them and Penrome sells the spares. Like they're not super easy to find, but they do exist.
Those spare nibs, right?
The spare nibs. Because somebody asked where you can get them, and Gold Spot and Kirk tend to be.
I get mine from Kirk.
I've gotten mine from Gold Spot because Gold Spot tends to carry the full color range.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if like someone like Jet Pens has them, or I don't know. I've never looked.
I don't know. I always assume like whenever I need a spare nib, it's always Gold Spot or Kirk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if one doesn't have it, the other one almost certainly does.
Right.
And I like that Gold Spot carries spare nibs. So many of the pen retailers don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the fact that Gold Spot does. And that when they came to Empire last year, they brought spare nibs so that if you were getting nib grinds and didn't have nibs, you could just buy nibs from them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Great.
No, I think that's what I tell people. There's a new stationery store that opened up about 4 miles down the road from me.
Okay.
And she's just starting it's called Papeleria Society. And she has like Tom Studio, Esterbrook in there, like a couple of basic sailors. She just got into fountain pens herself, and she loves, she has some, interesting notebooks. She's bringing new lines in all the time. She has a bunch of inks like J.R. Bond and Lamy and like, again, Tom Studios. I'm trying to think of what else she has in there. But it was really cool. I went to the opening of the store, and the first 50 people got like a gift bag with like some washi tape and stuff in there, which I thought was cool. The store opened at 10 o'clock. We got there at 9:15 in the morning, like, because down the road we figured out we'll go see, maybe we'll just sit in the car. Are you kidding? We had to get out of the car and go stand in line because we were number 30 in line. People were already lined up. Everybody like wants a stationery store, which was kind of neat. So now I'm just I was in there yesterday because I wanted another bottle of ink, of course. And we were just talking because she's just getting into pens and learning more about pens, which is, and I said, hey, you got any questions or whatever, I'd be happy to help you. It was kind of neat seeing people wanting to learn or getting, there's a bunch of new stationery stores opening up because people want to go analog, which I think is wonderful. People want to write.
So this is a good point. For the VP I just ordered, everyone I saw in the US was only carrying medium nibs. Yoast had fine, medium, and broad. It's because everybody in the US is supposed to swap nibs upon request, as far as I've been told. So everyone only stocks one size on their website, but if you get in touch with them, they are supposed to swap the nib size for you.
Exactly.
Because
they have spare nibs.
They have spare nibs. And technically those pens only come in one nib size. Yoast is listing all the nib sizes he can put in it on his website. Technically, though, those pens only come in one nib size, but US retailers should be swapping nibs if you request it.
That the Mondo was asking too. Yes, the Moonman and Jinhao, you can get the regular Pilot nib unit, fits right in there. And that's what some people do.
Yeah. I've never tried it, but apparently it works.
I don't have one, so I wouldn't know, but I know other people that have swapped them out. I think Vanessa has. And Lori, they have. But and there's from what I understand too, in the Jinhao, their converter is a lot better than the Pilot one.
I don't know.
And I won't use the Pilot converter. I take the cartridge and I suck it out. And I clean them out and I put whatever ink I want in there. I prefer using the cartridge than that converter. I hate the converter.
Same. And so if there's a size in Pilot VPs or Decimos that you want that's not listed, retailers should be swapping it for you. And if they aren't, you should be able to get in touch with Pilot and get the nib section you want. I'm going to keep saying should because I have not talked to anyone in Pilot about this since I was told this information like 8 months ago, 9 months ago. But as far as I'm aware, their policy is still that if you request a different nib, nibs will be swapped. For the VP and the Decimo specifically.
Right.
Because retailers only list mediums.
Yeah. And the VP and the regular, the VP and the Decimo take the same exact nib. So it's easy to interchange them. Because I have a few vanishing points now, it doesn't, if I can only get one nib size, it really kind of doesn't matter because I'm swapping nibs all the time with another pen. It's the easiest nib swap on any pen I own.
The easiest nib swap. I love that it is a full section.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Oh, it's so easy to clean.
Yeah. The only thing that annoys me is how expensive they are, but then I remember how expensive gold nibs are for any other pen right now, and I'm like, maybe they're not that bad. Because I'm also buying the full mechanism, not just the nib.
Right. But yeah, I would. I was like reading your Kurt Spirit pen, what Peter wrote. We have pens with Kirk right now. He's been so busy, he has been so busy traveling, and he's going to be at Stationery Fest. And then from Stationery Fest for the DC show. So I'm hoping that he is able to bring my pens with him because I shipped them out to him a while ago, but I know he's been super, super busy. Which is wonderful. I think it's great that he's in now with his new store that he just opened too. It's a great space. I saw it when I was out in Colorado last year. but he's such a great nibmeister. There's a lot of good. They're all good, you know.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of us, there's been a big discussion for a long time now, like about stock Yovo nibs. And I feel like a lot of us have reached the point, like anyone who's getting stock is not getting stock for it to stay stock, is they're getting stock nibs and then those aren't staying as stock nibs.
Correct.
Which then means that the lines for nib work are significantly longer than they were a year and a half ago.
Right. I mean,
there are only so many nibmeisters in the pen world.
Well, that's true. I mean, you know, people like, oh, I got this pen and it writes terribly. It's feedbacky. It's this on that. And as I always say, people have different writing styles, the way you hold the pen, you know, your angle of the pen. So if you're getting a standard Yovo nib, it's only made one way.
Yep.
And if you can, go to a pen show. If you can't go to a pen show, and go onto the websites and research nibmeisters, you can mail a pen to them. I mean, it's a lot. Like Kirk knows my writing style, so I don't have a problem doing that because he knows how my writing style. You know, and he's got a memory like a steel trap. I'm telling you, like you know, people he met once, he remembers their name. But yeah, he does know the way I write and everything, and so I just sometimes at a show, if we're so super busy, I'll hand him a pen in the morning, and then maybe later on I'll get it done. Because if I'm working, we're always working. It ends up that sometimes when I'm working a table, his table's right next to mine. It works great. And he'll just come back and he said, "Try it out and let me know what you think." And it's always perfect. So that's kind of cool too. But I couldn't even. By the time I remembered to sign up for one of the pen shows, I'm like, damn it, he's all full. But I know I'm always in the room early anyway, first thing. So if I need to get some pens tuned, I just sign up then. If a lot of the nibmeisters will post on their website if they're pre-booking some slots for getting nibs done, but they always leave slots open for people that walk in as well.
Yeah. And there's always a wait list because people always don't show up to their appointments.
Oh, right. You know, and in fact, there's one of my friend of mine from my pen club is not coming back now. And I did a couple of things for her, and she said, "Hey, do you want to take my appointment? I can't go to the DC show now." And I'm like, "Sure, I'll take your appointment. That's perfect." Which is great. So I don't, either Peter or I will use it. So we have Peter has an appointment with Kirk on Sunday anyway, but yeah, so thank you. But you know, that's always good. So if anybody has never been to a pen show, you know, the pen show's do's and don'ts is like, I say, peruse the rooms first, take notes. Don't buy the first pen you see. You know, I always say that. If, you know, take a picture, vendors will let you take pictures of pens, you know. Always ask permission when you touch a pen. People will just go over and just, you know, say, "Do you mind if I pick this up?" And, you know, have some, you know, be a little courteous and stuff like that. People go, you know, that's one of the things. It's even Kirk has signs on his table. Please ask before you pick up a pen. That way they can also keep an eye on the pen, you know, you know, whatever. Or if you're going to show someone a pen, you know, like us as, you know, that work tables, we take the cap. I take the cap and I show them the rest of the pen. It's like, well, this is what the pen looks like. Let me show you the nib. I hold on to the cap.
I would say we do it a little bit differently, but because what we're selling are resin pens. And so part of the thing is, what does it look like with the cap on?
Right. Well, no, I'll show it to them and they hold it and I say, "Oh, let's see what the nib looks like." And then I take the cap back. So yeah. But well, yeah, that's us as someone trying to sell pens. But you're always keeping an eye on those pens. I mean, it's amazing that people still feel the need to steal pens.
Oh, stuff goes. The thing is, I cannot think of a show that I don't know of someone who hasn't lost something.
All right.
And sometimes it's massive what goes missing, and sometimes it's not massive, but sometimes it's massive.
Oh, like poor Andre, someone stole like 150, like it's like a
Yeah.
whole valise of pens.
Yeah. Or when Luxury Brands of America many years ago had somebody walk away with all their cases on setup day. Like those are the stories that change how vendors set up a show.
Yep.
That has changed how I think most brands set up a show after what happened with Bryce and his family.
Mm-hmm.
What happened with Andre last fall has changed how people vend shows because
Oh, in LA, when I was at LA Pen Show, at Truffet.
Yep.
Carrie's like a dog with a bone. You know, he's got massive cameras everywhere. And he noticed a pen was missing right away, went back and looked at the camera, had a glimpse of the kid on the from the camera, took security, and they found the kid. He said, "You have two choices. Give me back the pens, or we call the cops." The kid went to and handed it back and said, now you're banned. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And security escorted him out. It wasn't worth to whatever, but he got the pen back.
Yeah.
Not remember, like, what was it? Yost was at a show and this old couple stole some very expensive Urushi pens. It was all caught on camera. They posted their
wasn't
pictures
it Madrid?
Yeah, I think so. They posted their pictures all on Instagram.
And it was the same couple that had stolen from somebody the year before.
Yeah.
That's what I remember, was that this was a repeat offender at the pen show, and they had still been allowed back in the following year.
Oh, see, David was good. He at the Chicago Pen Show, he's like, he survived day one without buying pens.
I've rarely survived a day at a pen show without buying something.
I already know what I already know what I want to get at DC. And it's just one or two things that I'm keeping my eye on, but we'll see. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. So if I'm not sure, then it doesn't mean that it probably means I won't get it.
I've made a DC purchase and I'm not even attending DC.
Okay.
I have sent somebody with money to DC to buy something for me.
Oh, you're going to tell us?
Oh, it's a custom pen. I've got
cool.
I've got a bill to pay for a custom. And nice. I was like, can you go pay for this thing?
Right.
And can you also like take the blank that I have for me? And so it's like there's a certain stress to vending at a pen show when you know there's a likelihood that somebody's going to try and walk away with something.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I was in San Francisco and then all of a sudden you see parents coming to the table with kids and kids are like little kids are grabbing it and like they're in a carriage and I'm like, okay, no.
Oh, like I am always the Navaler DC team in previous years has been, one second, how many people did we? I think we had 8 last year behind 4 tables. And that's pretty much how many you need to vend.
Yep.
4 tables to have eyes on everything. They were running Empire. We had 3 tables on one side, 1 on the other. And we had 5. And that's tough. Because
it's really tough when they get really busy and there's only 3 of us at 3 tables.
Because also it's if you're the team running the show, which the guys were, suddenly you're losing people, and then there's 3 of you or 2 of you for 4 tables, and one of the tables is facing the opposite direction. And so then there's 2 of you on 3 tables, while one of you deals with the table the other direction. And I love being behind a table at a booth because I love being behind a table at a pen show because you get to talk to so many amazing people and you get to show off some really fun pens and it's a great time. But it is not unstressful. Because at the end of the day, some of the pens in front of, like, the Tasha pens are a lot more expensive than most of what's on our table.
There's nothing at Tasha for their Urushi pens that's under $1,000.
Yeah. And for us, unless I'm behind the OMOS table, which I am on occasion, and it wasn't until Scriptus this year we had the Sterling Silver OMOS pen that had just come out. The stress of having that on a table, that pen was like $10,000 Canadian. Just
oh my God,
on a table.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to look away from this pen to have a conversation where I'm looking at you, because then I'm not looking at this pen.
Yeah. I had my my meta glasses on, and sometimes because it was so noisy and at the pen, I brought them to the Dutch pen show. They're, like I could put them on and hit the video button, and trying to get used to them. I haven't posted anything from them because I'm still trying to get used to like not moving my head so fast, and all that. I could slow the video down. I may edit something and show it, but it was interesting. But I thought that would be pretty good to wear at the, like constantly, like if it got really crowded at the table, is to like hit the record button and just scan the people, whatever, and shut it off. But you could see the light blinking, there's a light that blinks when you're recording.
Yeah, like I often think that Trumfe and Yost, both of whom film their tables, are probably smart to do it the way they do it. Because it means that when stuff goes missing, you have a way to go back and know exactly what was taken, when it was taken. But also you need the space, you need the lighting system, you need the tech setup. And depending on where you are on the show floor, you do not have the electrical for that, and you do not have the space for that.
Nope.
And so you are just relying on the fact that you have enough people to have eyes on everything.
Right. Exactly. I like I said, this will be the first time we're going to have our own table. We are going to have 2 tables in Orlando. I'm even going to sell. I have some of my, my Coco elephant stuff from Rickshaw, because I have a little supply here. So I'm even going to bring some of the. Not like I didn't do bonsai bags, but I have tote bags, a few little tote bags, and not many items, but hey, and Kirk will have majority of the stuff too. So. And some Monte Grappa pens and a couple of Viscontis. I mean, we have a few variety of things. I even have a Pelican. Actually, I'm a friend of an acquaintance found a Pelican M800 or 9 Toledo, a vintage one, and so I'm bringing it to DC with me because I'm trying to look it up, and I'm trying to look up the value of it. There's no box or papers. It was found in a desk. I did clean it out, and it does write beautifully, and it is beautiful. It cleaned out. That's one thing about a Pelican. You can remove the nib so easy and flush out that whole piston system. It's like the easiest cleanup besides a cartridge converter pen that with sometimes when you get a hand issue or whatever, and twisting the piston back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on some of the other pens because you can't remove the nib.
I do the same thing when cleaning any of my Navaler pens. I just take out the nib. Because the nibs just twist out, and they're so easy to clean that way, and then you're not twisting them back and forth.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I don't. If some of it, like on one of the Viscontis, I could take out easily. If it twists out, I'm golden. I'm not going to remove a piston rod.
No.
I have done that once on a Leonardo, and I had somebody else put it back together for me. I couldn't get it to seat right. I tried. I didn't break it. It wasn't broken. I just, for some reason, couldn't get it to seat right. And so someone else did it for me, no problem. And, but yeah, cleaning pens, it's a labor of, and you know what? Sometimes when I just feel like putting on a book, an audiobook, put the audiobook on with my headphones, and I sit there and I clean pens. It's meditation. Always find something to bring us joy, so I got to find some joy in cleaning pens.
So what are your other pen show do's and don'ts?
Do's and don'ts. I mean, be careful about what you take into a show with you, whether it be a backpack, a bag, to make it small, make it convenient, because these pen shows get so crowded. I know people that have stuff even stolen out of the back of a backpack. And why is it admittable not purchase and not to ink a pen? That's why we are in this hobby. Why is it not admirable? Yes. No, it's not that.
Does it make me a bad person if I still have a pen from Philly that I haven't inked?
No. Wait a minute. He's one to talk. He's one to talk. He gets a new pen in, and he's like, I can't ink it. It's new. I said, give me that pen. And I dip it in ink. I said, now it's not new.
So my issue was I had plans to make a whole video. Like, it's a Platinum 3776. I got it at Philly. Actually, I got it before Philly. I picked it up at Philly. And then I got busy, and then I got sick. And then Platinum announced they were redoing the pen. And I was like, well, I can't release a video on this pen now because I don't know what the nib's going to be like on the new ones. And it's going to be totally out of date. Because by the time the video comes out, the pen's not going to be available.
But wait a minute. See, that's where you're wrong. I think that's where you're wrong, because lots of times I'm going to, I have a video that I'm going to do on 4 pens that came out a few years ago. But those pens, like that Platinum that you're talking about, is going to be already available on a resale market. So you can talk about it. So you can, that's what, just because a pen is not new, or it can be a brand new pen that came out years ago that someone never used. So it's new old stock. And people, you go on eBay, you go on Catawiki, you go on all these like Reddit, wherever, virtual pen show. There's no reason why you can't talk about a pen that is a few years old, because you're bringing it fresh again. And what I mean by that is just because there's still an interest. We're all searching for, Peter's searching for an older Mont Blanc that he, and we're all searching for those pens that will fit a collection. So most certainly, it doesn't matter that they're changing it.
Well, I think I wanted to see so it's the music nib.
Yep.
And I think I wanted to see what the new music nib was before I talked about what the old music nib was, because it sort of seems odd to talk about the nib that people won't be able to get anymore. I just looked at Gold Spot. It's only available in silver. They don't even list it as an option anymore for other colors. They seem to have one in stock in silver. So if you're after at 3776 with a music nib. Gold Spot appears to still have one. But they're pretty much gone at this point.
Are they redoing the nib in a different carat weight?
As far as I can tell, so there's very little information. Bryce has done a video about a month and a half ago. There was a post from a store, I believe in Japan, and the post was that the pen was being discontinued. The pen is not being discontinued. The pen is being revamped and changed, and the current model is being dropped from the line.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have no idea. The nib
Right.
could be the same for all I know.
Right. And when you think about it, though, how many Platinum 3776s have been out on the market? So they're still always going to be on the market. You just can't get a new one.
You can't get a new, and there will be a new version of it. We just
Right.
don't know what that is at this point.
Then I wouldn't worry about, so you can do the video and then you can do an update to the video.
That's true.
Then that makes you 2 videos.
That does make
Someone
videos.
did, no, do not bring large strollers, jumbo strollers to a pen show. All right, so a lot of the pen shows, like the big ones, like DC, San Francisco, they are huge shows. If you can avoid bringing a stroller, you have people that have walkers, wheelchairs that are handicapped as well. So you get and the hallway or the alleyway where in San Francisco and in DC, they put vendors out in hallways because there's no room for all these vendors, and it's very tight. Jumbo strollers, if you can avoid it. If you want to have some peace of mind for a few hours, get a babysitter. I mean, if you can. It makes it easier so you can enjoy the show, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm against kids. I love kids. But strollers are tough. Strollers with dogs are are like, you can leave the dog. I mean, it's not an emotion, like if it's a seeing eye dog, or if it's, I'm not against any of that. I just know that I was watching a poor man struggling, an older gentleman struggling in San Francisco, and he had braces, and there's a person with a dog stroller. And, I felt really bad for this. I mean, excuse me, can you put the stroller on the side so this gentleman can get by?
Yeah.
I mean, he was hunched over. I felt really bad, badly for him. And I'm not saying they do allow, that's just my personal opinion. There's a girl that comes to the pen shows in Chicago. I don't know when you were there, if you saw it. She had a backpack on, and the backpack was clear, and she had her parrot on her back.
Yeah. I was about to say the bird in the backpack.
Yep, the bird in the backpack.
The bird in the backpack. Yeah. One of my favorite, what the actual fuck moments at a pen show, is the bird in the backpack. Because why?
I mean,
Why?
Seriously. It was like when I was flying from Boston to Florida one time, and someone came. I do have a picture of it because I took a picture of it. Her emotional support pig. And this pig was sat on her lap, and it was this big.
I will also say, if you see somebody with mobility aids, give them fucking space.
Yeah. I mean,
it's tight, but try it. Somebody at DC, a vendor that I know last year, said to me, you're using your crutches a lot less than you used to. Like the first year you were at Chicago, you used them a bunch. And I said, people keep kicking them and I keep almost falling and there's no space to catch myself.
Right.
And so it was safer for me to not use them and to duck behind the tables of people that I knew than to use them and have them kicked out from underneath me by people who weren't paying attention.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally, like Peter uses a walker for, when he's doing a lot of walking for stability and everything. And so he needs that at the pen show. And so we do take the walker with us. If we go down for dinner, he doesn't take it. But for the lot of walking after a while, and his has a seat. Well, I wasn't watching where I was walking, and I stumbled over his walker, went flying on the floor, and it's not. And so now he gets worried when he has to take his walker in there. So when he goes up to a table, he'll tuck it into the side. Whatever, if he sees some space, and he'll get and walk a few tables, and then he'll go back and get his walker, because he's conscious of it, and he needs it. And he needs it. I have lately had to walk with the cane because of my RA, and if my ankles start to go out on me, and he's like, people yelling at me, why aren't you using your cane? And I'm like, because I don't want to.
See,
but
I don't mind using my crutches. They give me so much more independence than I have otherwise.
Right.
But there is no space to catch yourself at a pen show when somebody kicks one out from underneath you. Because
oh my God. What David wrote.
Oh, that's unique. We're gonna call that
different. Unique. That is different.
My mom owned a store, and somebody brought in a goldfish in a bowl to her store. She claimed she took that goldfish with her everywhere. That's a special type of patience.
Oh, please. I was walking down. I was in Lake Worth, Florida, and we were like walking down the street in one of the main, there's some shops and restaurants in the whole bit. And the woman had her pet rat on her shoulder. I'm like, oh no. She would sit outside and eat at one of the outside tables with the pet rat on her shoulder. I'm like, I'm out of here. I can't. Those skeeve me. I'm sorry. No. It just skeeves me. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. I can't. I mean, I've seen some unusual stuff, but it gets very crowded at the pen show. Have patience. But I think my thing is like heavy backpacks. Make something light and portable, like or something that you can wear in front of you instead of in your back. Like if you can turn it around, wear like a sling bag, and lots of times I'll have my bag strapped like this. That way, people not bumping into you in your back, and less chance of having something taken. Just be like, just aware of your surroundings. But my big thing is enjoy it. There's a lot of things to do at a pen show too. You don't have to feel obligated to buy a pen. They have like ink stations. You can go play with the inks. They have a giving table. If you have like old stuff that you don't want anymore, donate it to the giving table, but you can also take something away from you that you may see. That's kind of neat too. So there's always be courteous to vendors. You can talk to vendors. You can, what I'm saying, you can talk to vendors if there's like a pen that you kind of like, and sometimes sometimes they will work with you, on some stuff. Don't always just have a conversation, and if you're don't be afraid to ask them about the pen or anything like that, if you have questions.
I would also say, just like, if people aren't busy, talk to them, because sometimes with the vintage vendors, you have no idea what you're going to learn. Last year at Chicago, I was having a conversation with somebody about Schaefer pencil lead, which turned into a conversation about other vintage pens that I really liked. And I mentioned that I really liked the 45. And he told me that I needed to go see somebody that he knew who had a table. And it turned out that somebody had one of the original demonstrator 45s that was used when they were selling the 45s in his pocket.
Wow.
You have no idea what you're going to get to see at a pen show once you start talking to people.
I'm always learning something new.
I'm always learning something new at a pen show. Like, the amount of information I come away with at a pen show is incredible, and oftentimes overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, even like They
especially
even
when
have some great workshops, if there's something, my girlfriend Suzette is doing tunnel journaling, and I told her this weekend she needs to videotape herself actually talking about it and everything, so people can understand what tunnel journaling is. It's kind of making pages that you can look through and artistically do it. It's kind of a fun workshop, and I'm going to be taking a class in Chicago and San Francisco, mono lettering with I'll always butcher his name. I'm terrible. Butchori.
okay.
Yeah, and I'm excited about doing that. When I work in DC and in Chicago, I'm at the Leonardo table, and which was really nice is that we get scheduled. So I like that. So I'll either have a couple of hours to myself in the morning or in the afternoon, and to have fun at the show too. So, but chances are, if I peruse the show and I'm done, I just jump over to the table and help out. So, but it's not that I'm always stuck at a table. But you learn, it's like I like taking workshops once in a while when people are like, oh, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to learn something new, like the mono lettering and all that.
I have never taken a workshop at a pen show.
Well, this one here is Saturday. The one I'm taking in San Francisco is Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for 2.5 hours. I better be a good girl the night before.
The only one I've almost taken is one at Chicago the first year I went, which was a nib workshop on the Sunday morning. And instead, I filmed a whole bunch of 20 questions episodes instead of going to a nib tuning workshop, which I think in the end was probably a better idea, because that's when I filmed Annabelle and the Atlas episodes and all of that stuff, and Brooks. But I just... honestly, by the time I've stayed up till midnight filming 20 questions, normally midnight, 1 a.m., I don't want to take an 8 a.m. workshop. I don't want to take any workshop.
That's the only time I could possibly take it, because on Saturday at the pen shows, I do the afternoon in DC and in San Francisco. If you're at the DC or the San Francisco pen show, come by on Saturday Saturday all day, and get your free raffle ticket for Leonardo.
Ooh.
And then we pull the ticket around 3:00. So I help do all the announcing and stuff like that. They're like, will you come up with a song that you can sing about pens? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting there I can't write songs. I can sing songs, but I can't write songs. I'm trying to figure out something that I can, like a little tune that kind of goes together.
Leonardo hosts a good pen show giveaway.
Yep, they do. I do not know what it is yet. I haven't been told. So it would probably one of, whatever one new one that they, I have no idea, but they're always great. We had oh my God, in the LA show, it was the first time that they did the LA show, and it gets really crowded, and you kind of keep the crowd going. And then when it comes 3:00, we pulled the ticket, and I'm passing out tickets. Anybody else need a ticket and the whole bit. And I don't even pull the ticket. I hold up the basket for Salva to pick it. So you can't say that it was rigged. Okay. So
Yep.
Sue Beck won.
Ha!
Her look on her face, and we caught it all on video. And she's like, she's screaming up and down. She says, I never win anything. Well, Salva was having a good time. He says, okay, we're going to give away one more pen. And then he said, that's enough. So Peter's like, take a backpack with a fishbowl. No.
No.
That's the no-nos.
Yeah. I would say the only other big thing is to have a set. I have like my pen show budget, and then I have my like firm budget, because there's always the chance that you will find that one thing that is your grail at a pen show. And I do have that pool of money set aside for my grail. Like if I find a Mont Blanc Bohème, I can pull money from this fund for that pen.
Right.
So I have my pen show budget, and then I have like my firm budget, and they are not the same thing.
Oh, I saw someone today on Instagram that pulled out some bohèmes that they had hand painted. They look so cool from way back when. I want to know who, I should have asked who did them because they were really cool looking. I'm not on, like, I have a plain black bohème. That would be really cool to do with.
I still desperate. Like there are very few pens that I would sell a bunch of my collection for, but a Bohem is one of them where I loved it before you let me try yours in 2024, but getting to try yours was just an experience where I just fell absolutely in love with them even more.
There's one that I'm looking for. They had it, it has a leather body on it.
Oh,
And it's purple. But I'm satisfied with what I have. If it ever comes about, maybe, I don't know. But I'm not like, if I ever see it, maybe. But yes, you're right about the budget. People, you have your budget in mind, what you're going to spend, and that's, but make a little, like if like you said, if you have something, then okay, wait a minute. Oh, they finally have what I wanted. Okay, well, something else from over here is not.
I take my budget out in cash.
Yep.
So
Cash is king. Cash is good.
Because I can't think of a single person in a pen show that doesn't take cash.
Right.
And once my cash is gone, I'm done. But
yep. That's all. Like that's.
I've been a couple
when we used to go to. Okay, I used to go to casinos before we got into pens. I don't even want to go to a casino anymore. But I used to, talk about a budget. We'd go with friends and have a good time, and I would take. I had my budget. Never go to an ATM to get more money out. Nothing. This is my entertainment. If I lose my entertainment, and it wasn't a lot of money, but if I lose my entertainment, I'm done for the night. That's it. So it's going to take that philosophy to pens. Now I don't want to go to a casino. Peter and I have not gone to a casino since 2021. Just after COVID, and then we really got into fountain pens. We have no desire. I have no desire to go to a casino at all. I'd rather spend my money on pens. My budget now, my gambling budget now is
an expensive hobby.
It's very expensive hobby. But this is like my retirement money. I tell you, my Social Security check goes to my pen habit. That's it. When you work really hard and stuff, people, I've gotten some comments on my YouTube. Oh, she's just showing off, whatever. I work hard. I don't need to justify it. I'm having a good time. I share. I had a couple of people that came to my house the other day wanting to know about fountain pens and see the museum or whatever. And one woman, these are acquaintances of mine, or friends. They used to live here in the building, and they came back to say hi to everybody. They're both doctors, and one of them's really into fountain pens and collecting pens. And we're, looking at everything, and she was like astonished in the whole bit. And so one of my friend that lives next door here, she said, "Oh, do you have anything do they ever make any pens that have like something medical on it?" And I said, "Oh, I'm glad you asked." They have the caduceus on. I had Monte Grappa green caduceus pens. And I said, in fact, I have one for Kathy and one for Jody. Kathy, I know, likes fountain pens, and Jody wants probably a rollerball. And they said, "Oh my God." I said, "No, it's my gift to you." And that sometimes, like it's a reasonable price Monte Grappa. Didn't matter. I just happy that, I was just happy doing it. And, gifting the pens, and they were like, "Oh my God." And I said, "No, you came over, and you were so excited about coming over, and I feel good about doing this." And she's like, "Oh my God." And then I said to her, the one with the fountain pen, I said, "Well, I got some ink cartridges. What color do you like?" She said, "Blue or black." I'm like, huh? Did you read what Peter wrote? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway,
Oh.
I said blue, but anyway, it brings me joy. It does
Yeah.
bring me joy to be able to do that, and that makes me happy. So, okay, so another do for a pen show. It just came to my head. I'm off the cuff with this. I think about this stuff, right? Bring a notebook with you and a pen. And that way you can try, well, the pen is if you want to make your own notes, but if you're at a table, you can, sometimes they have pens that are inked, or you can test them. And if you want, instead of testing, like I know at Leonardo, we have a testing paper and we have a couple of testers out there and people can test. But if you want to really know, bring your own notebook and test it in that. So you can make your notes and you can decide on what works better for you. Because we usually have a few nib sizes out there, and it's funny, and people well, they'll have some tester pens. The nibs are all the same. Nibs are the same. What I mean by that is a pen resin or whatever it is your nib holder.
Yeah.
So people will they'll look at this pen and they're like, well, do you think we can test that? I said, no, these are the testers. It's the same nib. I said, I'm not being fresh.
Yeah.
It's the same, it's the same
It-
nib.
What I love about the Estabrook tester sets is that they're all the same pen and all of them are labeled right on the pen with what they are.
Yeah.
There are some tester sets where none of the pens are labeled, and to know what the testers are, you have to uncap every single one of them so that you can look at the nib and figure out what you're handing to somebody or what they've picked up and have tried. I think that if you've got a table where you've got a tester set, your testers need to be labeled. For the sake of whoever's working your booth, label your testers.
we label them. We label them at Tasha, right? We have the box. You don't want to put a label on a Urushi pen, and you're able to actually test an Urushi pen. So we have the pen box, and on the pen box is what the nibs are. I can guarantee people are taking them and putting them back wherever they want. And I have to go through them again and look at the nib and put them in there. But chances are they're all different colors, and I know now by sight what is on. With Leonardo, we only have like 3 or 4 testers. That's it. And so it's easy. The materials are all different, so we kind of know what is in each nib. So just because we already pre-know, or I know, I look at it and try to remember.
At Navaler, they're all different colors.
Yeah, and so they have a whole bunch of ones. If you have more than 4, then you know what to do. Take a piece of paper and make a list, and then you can look at the list.
Well, the thing is, I now know them by color.
Yeah,
and so I can just as soon as I know what the end that we use, I don't know what they're using this year, but in the past we've used the original pluses. Actually, no, we use the originals at DC, but we've used the original pluses at Scriptus. And just by the end cap, which has the little bit of color, I know which tester they've picked up.
Karen's funny. Yeah, wrap that around your neck.
I would not be comfortable with a snake at a pen show.
No.
To be real honest. The bird in a backpack was a struggle. A snake? No.
Do some weird crap, right? Weird shit. But yeah, that also at a lot of the tables now, everybody has their own little stamp. And if you want to take your own notebook and stamp in it, you can, even the Travelers, Kirk has his own stamp. I'm sure when we were in Chicago, Atlas brought a stamp over to Tasha because they had the game with kids are collecting stamps. So that was kind of cute too. So the kids would come over and we kept those at one end of the table where there were no pens, where we keep the inks and the other stuff down there.
I have one of the Travelers accordion inserts.
Mm-hmm.
that I use for pen show stamps.
Yeah.
Because some people will do, oh, Claudia, I forget what her handle is. She does a custom carved eraser stamp for any of the shows she's at. And so you can only get it at that specific pen show. And I love getting hers because they're great.
It's kind of cute. See, at one workshop, I took how to carve your own erasers. And when I was done with the workshop, I'm glad I took it, but I know I never want to carve another eraser again.
See, I've got all the stuff to do it, and I do it every once in a while, but I've never been great at lino carving or anything like that. I've done a class at Gortzman's, I've taken some online stuff, but it's just I enjoy doing it. I have trouble making my brain think the way I need my brain to think to do it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, does anybody else have any questions out there that you would like us to answer? Because I know we like kind of go like all around stuff, which is
We
kind of
do.
fun. Keeps it interesting. What are
It
what's
does.
gonna come out of my mouth next?
Looping back to the Atlas stamp thing, I love what Chicago does for kids.
Yes.
And I had this thought last year as well, because last year, the Chicago, I think it was the Chicago Pen Guild or whatever it is, put on a scavenger hunt. And
Yep.
so they had to visit a whole bunch of different booths and get a whole bunch, like they had to talk to people and they had to get, like if they had a conversation with us and we were able to show them the specific thing on their list, they had to get our signature on their little card to confirm. I signed so many of those cards last year.
Yeah, it was so
But
fun.
it's
Are you
so
are
much
you gonna
fun.
come? Are you gonna go to any pen shows this year? Do you know?
I keep telling people my schedule is fluid.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I went to Philly.
Yeah. I didn't
I
do Philly this year because I was too.
Yeah.
It was because too
I'm
cold.
I'm really glad that Mom and I last minute decided to go to Philly,
Mhm.
because since then my schedule has sort of been a disaster. Between me being sick and Mom being sick and everything else. So it's very fluid. I'm not saying hard no to anything, but
Mhm.
it's sort of playing it pen show by pen show. At this point, though, I do not think there's any chance of being at DC because we're now, what, 2.5 weeks out from DC?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Well, for when I fly out on August the 5th.
Yeah, I sent a blank and money with somebody else, and I've asked Mike to pick up my Black Pen Society pin for the year. So
I
I'm sad
joined
to.
in Chicago. I joined the Brown Pen Society.
Oh, fun! I
I
am not.
know.
I am not a member of the Brown Pen Society. I own no brown pens, but I am a proud Black Pen Society member, and
So we
I
get those.
need this year's membership pin, and so does Mom, and actually so does Maya. Maya's a proud Black Pen Society member as well. So actually, we need 3 pins for the Black Pen Society this year.
Pins.
Pins.
Pins. We're talking about the pins, not pens. Pins.
Where's?
Yeah, we have a few of them. I'm gonna go see Paul when I get there.
Yeah,
I need a new one.
looking for this last year's. I think this was last year's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're all mine.
I put some of them on my jean jacket. I have a jean jacket. It's getting heavy now. I got to take some of the pins off. Right.
This is my very heavy pen show lanyard.
Yeah. Very nice.
You don't think about how heavy it is until you're wearing it for many, many hours at a pen show.
Yeah.
But I love the Black Pen Society pins.
Mm-hmm.
And so
yeah, I have a lot. It's that's my biggest pet peeve with owning so many black 149s. And people are like, why do you have so many black 149s? And that's because extra fine, medium, broad, double broad, double oblique broad, triple oblique broad, star, whatever it is, and so I wish in Mont Blanc's Infinite Wisdom they did put it's kind of hard to, but you have choices. Actually, reason why for some of the so many black ones is to have them eventually a ruchite or something, to find, because that's always kind of fun too. And it's in there. I think one of my top, I have, like the top 3 favorite pen lines for me is Mont Blanc, it's 149, Sailor KOP, and well, okay, so let's just maybe do the top 2 because it's a, or maybe I should go top 5. But I do love my Monte Grappas and I do love my Leonardos, and I do love my Pilot Vanishing Points now too. So those are like my top 5 pens. But I gravitate between Mont Blanc and a Sailor KOP. And with a few others in between. I think that's the reason why. Also, I want to go through our collection, and what's not getting any love is going for sale. Because I just want more control, and curate a collection.
Yeah, that is why I have a cull pile on my desk.
Yeah, and I have some Banus. I'm going to just keep my favorite Banus. I'm not keeping, I love using my Banus for my shimmer inks. I hope that they don't, I know they're going to Yovo and they're getting rid of the Schmidt nibs.
When?
I don't know, but it was announced. I think Bryce or somebody, it was announced that Yovo, that Benu is going to do more of the Yovo nibs than the Schmidt nibs. And I love their Schmidt nibs, especially the broad nib on a Benu, because that's what I use for my shimmer.
I have to say, I'm so tired of everyone moving to Yovo because so many of the Yovos I get
need work.
So badly tuned.
I want to tell you what I think, and don't take this for a word. In my opinion, I think when a pen maker gets a shipment of Yovo nibs in for their pens, you have different price levels. So if you want a basic Yovo, and you're supposed to, the pen makers should tune them, right? Because they're getting probably untuned nibs, or whatever. But I know there's different price points of Yovo nibs. So I'm wondering if that's the situation.
I don't know, because it's been real, some of my nibs recently have been excellent, and some of them have been horrific, and some of them have been excellent, but not for my angle.
Yeah.
I have found Yovos recently, and by recently I mean sort of for the last 18 months, really hit or miss. And luckily, I have a whole stash of Yovos I like to pull from, but I really dislike that we seem to be standardizing all to one nib, which seems like a weird thing to say. You'd think that would be nice because then nib grinds can go in multiple pens, but we're getting rid of some really great nibs in the pen world when we start to move all towards the same thing.
Yovo or Bach.
Yeah.
But even some of the big, like Monte Grappa, and but I get a Monte Grappa and it's a steel nib and it writes beautifully.
Oh, I know, because I wrote 6 months ago-ish, I wrote an article for Goldspot all about what nibs brands were using. And there really aren't that many that are still making their own nibs. And most are Schmidt or Bach. Sorry, not Schmidt or Bach, Yovo or Bach. Bachs are excellent if I would say I consistently get better box out of a box than I get Yovos out of a box.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's because most brands' box are so specific to that brand.
Mm-hmm. Cypress is a great pen. They have some nice pens too.
I've never tried one.
Yeah, I used to have a Mr. Cypress. Now they're just Cypress.
Ah,
I did. Well, Peter has one. I sold mine because it was a little small for me in the section, and it was a beautiful pen. I loved it. But I'm like, I'm not using it because of that. With my hand, I have to be careful. Yeah, a Schmidt nib. They're wet and yeah, I do. That's why I like the Schmidt nib in my Benoos.
I even like a Schmidt fine and extra fine. Like they are, even in size 5, they are consistently one of my favorite sizes of pen.
Mm.
And so I'm sad to hear that Benu is starting to move away from them because they have been one of my favorite nibs, especially for running
They
more
said that they were
temperamental
going to,
inks.
right? They said that they were going to keep some of the pens with Schmidt, but most of them they're running, depending on the price point of the pen. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I can't remember everything I read.
I'll text Bryce and go, so if I'm buying a Benu, what can I buy that still has a Schmidt in it?
Right, exactly. Oh, I forgot when I was at the Dutch Pen Show I met Ray from Ferris Wheel Press.
Oh,
We chatted a lot, and he's such a great. I gotta say great kid because I'm old, but no, great guy. Really, really, we had a good time. And I got to try out some of their newer pens at Ferris Wheel Press, and they're actually he asked me since I tried them, and I gave him I thought they were lovely, the new pens that are coming out, and he's actually he's sending me a couple of things for me to try, and I'll do a video and stuff like that on them. One of them being one of the new mask pens and stuff, and so I'm excited.
I just got a shipping notification that I have a pen on its way to me from them.
Yeah, so I'm very excited because and I mean, I love their inks. I do, and everybody knows we don't like their bottles, but gorgeous bottles. I love their boxes. I love their bottles. Looking, right? But I just take ink. I put ink in an ink miser, or if I'm using a piston. If it's or a syringe if I'm using cartridge converter pen. But I do love their inks, and I use them, and I do love some of their new pen lines that are coming out. The themes are just wonderful, and I love the way they do their section. The section is
the new sections
beautiful. Yes, yeah.
So I've got one of the, I think it's like a 2021, 2020 pen. And the evolution of the section from those first, also, I've been an affiliate for a very long time. You rarely see my affiliate code listed for them because it's generally a better deal to not buy from Ferris Wheel Press. It's generally a better deal to buy from any of your other retailers.
Right.
Generally, they have a better price and a better selection than Ferris Wheel Press does. But they do send me inks every month. There's my disclaimer that technically I work with them. For disclosure. The evolution in sections from those first couple engraved sections to what they're doing on sections now, like those first couple ones were, yes, they existed, but they needed some fine tuning. They had some rough edges at times, like they weren't perfect. The new stuff.
It's so, and for their price point on pens, they're a great, beautiful, someone really wants to have a night. I mean, I think they're great. I really was very impressed. I was in their sections, the detail, and it's not rough, and it gives you a little texture when it's not slippery or anything like that. I like a section that I can hold better.
And the new inks, I think starting with Harry Potter, or Harry Potter's the first bottle I noticed it on. The inks are made in the UK now. the packaging and everything is designed in Canada, but the inks are made in the UK.
Okay.
And so, and that has now changed for all of their inks. All of the new fairy tales say that. All of the new everyday inks say that since at least Harry Potter, because Harry Potter is the first ink I have that says that. And so also the quality of ink has changed. I would say the quality of ink has improved. I quite like, there's a conversation that has gone on that's where there's a group of us that think that sometime in 2024, late 2024, the formulation changed for the ink. It became a lot wetter compared to the early stuff. And I would say it's changed ever so slightly again now that it's being made in the UK. But like the evolution of the brand from like 2020 till now, it's crazy to see how it has improved over time because they are learning, they are implementing new things. And it's getting to watch the progression of a brand from these inks were super fun, but maybe they didn't work super well in fountain pens because the colors were too light, to a brand that's creating these really fun, rich colors and super fun shimmers.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And I just posted on my Instagram, I did a Zentangle using Gryffindor, the Harry Potter Gryffindor pen with Sorcerer's Stone was in that. And then I used, because that's the only Ferris wheel pen I had, I won that at the Chicago Pen Show from Kenro. That was fun. So I that, and I used an Asfine demo V800 with Ravenclaw.
Okay.
So I did a Zentangle with both colors, and it was fun to do. I really had fun playing with the pens, and they don't have any nib sizes on their pens, and their pens are like a fine medium. I think more on the
I think it depends on where you're looking, what the nib size is listed at. So some people have it listed as a fine, some people have it listed as a medium. I called it a fine in my video because based on the nib width listed, it more closely lines up with a fine. Because the pen only came in one size, it seems like they ditched labeling what size it is. The nice thing is that they did, I think it's still available, they did a full set of spare nibs from extra fine to, I believe, broad or double broad that fit into all of their like higher end pens. And so I had that and I just swap things. So I guess I could compare to that.
So I think that's one of the things that they're supposed to be sending me is the nib set.
It's a good set. I like it.
Yeah, it was a great set. I saw it there at the thing, because they were only showing what they had. They weren't selling anything because they had vendors there. There were other vendors. You know, they do what Pilot does.
Yeah.
You know, so they leave the vendor, like they let the retailers, they let the retailers sell it. They just there to demo. You can go demo from them.
Yeah, and Pelican and Visconti,
same thing. With Coles of London, with or whatever Visconti, you can. But I think that's pretty cool. Now, well, Coles of London sometimes you can purchase from the table, but
that's true.
Yeah, they can. But some of the companies that show at a show are just there to support their vendors.
Yeah, and it's nice because like when you get to talk to like dealing with Pilot at a pen show, like yes, I'm buying the pen from, if it's Chicago, I'm buying the pen from Atlas normally, but I am having the conversation with Jacqueline or Bill
Mhm.
about the pen. I'm getting to try a whole range of nibs. And same with what Faber-Castell.
Yeah,
Rachel. When Rachel's
Rachel.
there, Rachel's
I love
selling through.
Rachel.
I love, my God, I
Oh,
love
she's
Rachel.
such a hot ticket.
I
Yeah.
love Rachel. That is probably one of the saddest parts of this year, is that because I only went to Philly, I haven't seen anyone.
Yeah. I go because I the camaraderie. I go to see my pen friends,
I
right?
know. I haven't seen anyone. And I am so sad that, like, well, I have seen people. I saw like small vendors and I saw the vintage dealers, but I haven't seen Jacqueline, I haven't seen Bill, I haven't seen Rachel, I haven't seen Mark or Bryce. And I'm like, I'm all alone here.
We have to get you to come to a show if
I'm by my
possible.
lonesome self.
I know. We've been hopefully I'm gonna go to Empire. It's in November and it's my birthday month. So I said I'm going. So I already booked my hotel room.
It's like 3 days after my birthday.
Yeah, see, it's like my birthday's the end of the month. So, but I turned 65, so I got to go on Medicare now. I have to fill out all that paperwork to say that I'm officially an old lady. No, it's like I kid around. But yeah, just dealing with health insurance and stuff. That's a whole other issue and a ball of wax that I don't even want to think about right now. But yeah, so I always take my birthday month, it's my month. And I said, I'm going to, and it just will remind me of the days then when I was living up in New England and Peter and I would go, because was nothing to drive into the city, like three to 4 hour drive. And we would always go in November for my birthday, because it was like the start of the Christmas season when all the windows were done nice and it really felt like the holidays. It's gotten so commercial these days. Nothing feels like the holidays anymore, but
it was so much fun last year.
Yeah.
I had so much fun at Empire last year.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to going and stuff. I fly in on Friday, leave on Monday. But I may go to, I'm trying to think, I need to go to Boston to do some things up there. So I think I might go to Boston first and then fly from Boston to New York. That way I can get some, see some people up in Boston area that I want to see. And we have an office up there that I want to go to and get some stuff. So
last year we and everyone else ended up getting stranded in New York.
Oh, was it snowing?
No, there was a tropical storm or a hurricane.
Oh, that's right, because it was in October.
It was in October.
Yeah,
it was.
I didn't go.
It was Thanksgiving weekend here, because we missed Thanksgiving at home because we were in New York. Sort of made up for it by the fact that I got to eat really great Italian food, but we did miss family Thanksgiving at home, and then on like the Sunday morning, emails started to roll in from like different airlines, and people were like, "Oh, my flight's been moved up. My flight's been canceled." And Mom and I were moving out of our hotel room, like had grabbed our bags, were in the elevator going back down to the show floor, and got the email that our flight had been canceled after checking out of our room. And I am so grateful for friends in the pen world who were like, you can stash your bags in our hotel room. Well, you guys figure out what's going on. And by the time we got in touch with, I think we got in touch with American Express, because we had booked, for the first time ever, we had booked our flights through American Express, which we've now learned is what all the vendors do and all the nib people do, because when your flight gets canceled and you're working a pen show, you don't have to deal with it. American Express does. Which meant by the time we got in touch with American Express, 20 minutes after our flight was canceled, American Express had already been in touch with our airline and had rebooked our flights for the following day.
Oh, that's awesome. We used
We
to have
didn't have
American Express. We used to have American Express, and we gave it up. So that I know that was like one of the benefits of it, but
it.
not many
It's
places take American Express anymore either. So
it saved us like with pen shows last year, especially because there were a couple times like we got delayed in airports and stuff, and then our flights getting canceled on the way home from Empire last year. Like suddenly it means that you can pop into a lounge, or in the case of Empire, man, we weren't dealing with trying to rebook our flights while on a pen show floor in a hotel ballroom. Somebody else was dealing with that. And we just got to be sort of hands off. And
right.
I am very grateful for that fact. But yeah, everyone pretty much got stranded unless there were a couple people like who had done the same thing as us, but like got bumped onto a very early flight. Um, Aiden Burnell ended up on he was supposed to fly out in the evening, and he was sitting on a panel with me, and suddenly he was like leaving halfway through a panel because his airline texted and he was on a flight in like 90 minutes back to the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a time.
Yeah. Well, I just like 2 years ago in DC, poor Peter, because of the tropical storms and stuff there. I was going to Stationery Fest via train with
Yeah.
Sue, and he was flying home, and everybody's flights were canceled. And I'm like, oh God, what do I? So my girlfriend Suzette's flight was canceled. Mike Bloom's flight was canceled. So they were all hanging out. By the time we could get Peter a flight back to Florida, it was Thursday going to Orlando, which is 2.5 hours north of us.
Well,
And my brother had to bring him home. So, but that was like nail biting and the whole bit because,
yeah.
You pack just enough clothes or medication, not thinking you can be stranded for 4 extra days.
Philly this year. So we left in the middle of a snowstorm that shut down the GTA, where they closed schools, they closed the highways, and we were like, well, we have to be in Philadelphia. So I guess we're leaving anyways. And then we get to Philly. It's fine. And then Saturday night, all of a sudden, there's a massive storm system on the radar for the East Coast.
You drove, right?
Or we drove. We drove. And so then you have all of the Canadians and the people driving back to New York huddled around a table looking at various maps, trying to figure out what direction they're going, what is the 11th hour for having to leave Philadelphia to make it past the storm system to still get home. And we figured out the cutoff time that people had to leave by on Sunday morning, or it was not going to be safe to leave. And all of us left by that time. But it did mean we were up and out by, I think by 10 a.m. we were fully packed, had helped clear out whatever we needed to clear out from the show floor, and we're back on the road.
Right.
And it was still a very long drive home. And the Canadians especially had decided we were going into Pennsylvania and then we were driving north. We were going in as far as we could before we went north. But the people that were going up to New York, absolutely, there was so much texting back. People were just texting each other back and forth on that way home from Philly because it was such an awful trip home at times because of how awful the weather was. And then everyone's flights got canceled.
Unbelievable.
And it was the wee hours before people were home. And I was like, I am so grateful that the night before people had realized that the storm system was coming in, and the Canadians had all sat together and gone, what is our cutoff for having to leave and still being able to get home safely? And then what is sort of the route that is probably going to be the safest? And for us, we didn't hit snow until we got to Buffalo. Like, it had been an exceptionally good drive because we had done all the pre-planning.
Right.
But those drives in the winter can be a nightmare, and I find there's so much prep work that goes into pen show travel because we don't plan pen shows around what the weather is in that city that specific time of year. If we did, we would not be going to Philly in
Right.
January.
We, because we know we're going to the, right now we're in hurricane, so the entire hurricane season. So we know that we're leaving on the 5th, and they're repainting here. So we had to take, the bulk of our patio furniture in anyway. And so now my guest room has chairs and stuff in there, and we're not putting them back. They're done painting, but because of that, because we're leaving, we're not putting anything back out there, because if we're gone and something happens, you have to bring all your furniture in. So, it's like all that prep work that you need to do even when you're about to travel and leave. Not knowing what right now, day by day. Last night we had brownouts. I live on an island, and the electric company kept powering us on and off for like over an hour because of the brownouts or whatever was going on here. All of a sudden, so I went around, and because Peter's printer was making a funny noise anyway, so I unplugged that. I unplugged the computers just in case, even though we have surge protectors on our main lines going into our unit. You just never know. You don't want anything to get fried and not work because of the constant on and off, on and off.
Yeah.
So
we have a battery backup cell.
Yeah. Our old house, our big house up north had a huge generator. And so that was just great.
We don't have a generator, but we have I don't even know who makes it. I got it when I went to university, the first one, because we've got it in the offices at home. And now we're on our second one here. But it's this absolute brick of a thing that charges while it's plugged in, so that when your power goes off, you can still, charge a phone or any of that important stuff, so that if your power's off for multiple days, like, you can still be connected to emergency services, plug in a radio, do all that stuff.
Right.
But also, like, we've got.
Oh, I have one of those.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm because I told you we're doing Orlando Pen Show, we have an interior table, not a wall table. And, if you want lights shining on there, I haven't gotten anything yet. I got to really do research and see what I'm going to take. I don't think we're going to need that many lights. And this one here, believe it or not, if I get one more of these, I kind of like it. But it's 6 hours unplugged, one on each, overlooking that. It's fine. And I can also bring the battery pack with us if I need to charge these up. So, this works fine. Why is it not going on now? Of course not. I said, oh, there it is. There you go. So, I mean, and you can get plenty of power across my desk, and I think I might get one more of these.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like a solid plan. My laptop is about to die.
Okay. Well, we've been on for 2 hours and almost 20 minutes. So thank you, everybody who listened. Yeah. And again, always, if you have any questions for either one of us, you can get us on Instagram. Just DM us, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Always.
I'm hoping to get some of my own YouTubes done. Like I said, I've been, it's hard when you're under the weather, but anyway, to do anything. Anyway, thank you, Alexandra.
Thanks for hanging out this morning and early afternoon.
Yeah, great. It's been wonderful. Anyway, bye everybody. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.